Hi everyone, welcome back. First things first, please excuse my backdrop. I'm still moving, so I don't have a cute backdrop set up yet for videos. So I set the lights to pink to try and create a better mood than that gross like yellowy orange lighting in the background. I don't know if it's working, but here we are. That being said, welcome. Today I'm showing you how to organize your life and stay on top of everything you have to do with a digital planner via Procreate. So I will be using my iPad Pro. I'm pretty sure this is the 11-inch, but any iPad that can get Procreate. And I'm also using an iPad pencil. You don't have to have the pencil if you don't have it, but if you do, it does make writing a bit easier. Either way, I know Procreate is a $10 app, but every other video that I was looking at was for like GoodNotes or something else, and everything either required a subscription or another app purchase when I already had Procreate, so I didn't want to buy another one. And as I was looking and looking and looking, I couldn't find a video that showed me how to create a digital planner via Procreate, so I have done all of the hard work for you. I've shown you how to create your own, how to keep your life organized, and all of that fun stuff. This is what the Procreate app looks like. It's this fun guy right here. It's got that little swirly thing, and then when you open it up, here it is. And now I'm gonna switch over to my screen recording so that you can follow along while I create my digital planner. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open up the Procreate app here. Then we're gonna click on the plus button at the top and use screen size. There's lots of different ways you can mess with it, how you wanna view it when you're working on stuff and whatnot. Then we're gonna click that circle in the top right corner. It's going to allow us to choose our color. Lots of different ways to select here, but I'm gonna select from my palettes, and by clicking and dragging, it'll fill the background automatically. Now the button right next to that color circle is actually gonna take us to layers. Click on that add button. It's gonna add a second layer, and you'll understand this more in a second. So to start off, I'm just doing a little scribble in the top left corner. This was using the charcoal block, but now I'm going to switch over to the calligraphy side and use the brush pen. I'm going to change my color to white by dragging my circle up, then click that white square in the corner. Then we're going to add layer 3. Now we're just going to write out our month up here. So the month I'm working on right now is August. We can just draw it out as we go here, and now it's not completely centered, so by clicking that little mouse button up there, it's going to select everything in this specific layer, so we can resize August without messing with anything else. Now go back up, we're going to add another layer. I'm going to go and select my colors, and I'm going to look at my palette for kind of inspiration there, but going back to that wheel, you actually have a history section, so you can click on colors you've used in the past. I'm going to switch off of my calligraphy brush here, and I'm going to use this monoline, so it'll keep everything even while I'm trying to draw. And then when you click that little toolbar, turn on the drawing guide. So this is going to give us grid lines so that we can create an actual square that's in line. Now if you suck at drawing lines, like me, you can draw it out, and instead of lifting your finger or pencil, it'll automatically create a line for you. So just hold it until it says line created, and then you have a straight line. So now I'm just going to go in here and add in all of the other lines for the month, so I have a complete month. Now we're going to click that toolbar, turn off the drawing guide since I'm done with that, and then click your mouse again. It's going to select your entire layer again, and then we can resize and center our little calendar here without messing with anything else that we've already made. So now I'm going to switch off of my drawing pencil there. I'm going to go in the sketching section and select this bottom option here. Go to my color wheel, click the white from my history button, and then you can kind of mess with your brush size as you go. And then I'm just going to use little scribbles like I did for the month header to do my days of the week heading. So it's kind of got this cute little vibe, and then I'm also going to add in little dots for my days of the week. So then go in and add another layer. We're going to switch back to calligraphy and my brush tool there. Go click on that maroon shade, size my brush way down, and then we're going to write in the days of the week and all of the dates that need to be added as well into those little circles there. So be sure you check your calendar. Don't just follow this because my month might be different than yours when you're actually watching this video. So now that we have all of that done, we're going to add another layer. Remember to keep working in layers as we do this. I'm going to kind of take a look at how I want to draw this next thing. I think it needs a little bit of decor or something to spruce up the top here. So I'm going to use a monoline so it's not getting bigger or smaller as I'm drawing and adding pressure, and I just want to add some string light sort of look to the top. So I used my white and monoline, and now we get to kind of play around and work with the fun stuff. And then from the artistic section, I selected the Plimsolly and switched over to a yellow shade. Now be sure you add another layer here, and this is another important spot that you're going to want to do that. Looks like I might have changed my mind here. No, Plimsolly looks good for this. So we're going to add in these little yellow dots, just random, kind of the way that lights would hang on a normal string light. So I'm going to do this on both sides of them, just add them in until they look pretty nice. And then after that's done, I'm going to go back in, add another layer. This is really important for this part, and you'll see why. I'm going to change my color to white for this next part and then adjust my brush size to be a little bit smaller. And then just fill in randomly, really it doesn't matter how much you do here, just randomly inside that yellow, and then we get to work with some fun stuff. So click on that little magic wand and that Gaussian blur, and this is going to kind of blend that white into the rest of the canvas. So you can mess with it as I kind of did here, but I think just a little bit is kind of where I liked it. So now we have these pretty little light effects at the top, kind of just gave it that extra decoration that we needed. Now there's definitely room at the bottom to add some things. Some people like to have important dates marked, some people like to do birthdays or goals or to-dos or monthly shopping lists. Whatever you want to add down here. I'm adding my 2 white squares here. I filled them in, and now that I kind of have those scribbled headings everywhere, I kind of want to keep this random theme going. So I'm going to just scribble the outlines of these. I know they're not lining up with the white, but that's kind of what I want. It's going to give it more of a random look that just makes it feel carefree and a little more fun, and definitely more bullet journal vibes to it. And then I'm going to go in with that orange that's our same background color. It's not in my history anymore because I've used so many colors since then, but I just went and found it again. I added some little washi tape sort of drawings in there, the same way we've been doing things. And I like to have birthdays to look at and then monthly goals or things to think about during the month. So this is my birthday heading over here, and I'm going to go ahead and add in my monthly goals for this heading. And now that we have that header in, I make it as a checklist for the month. So these are things that don't necessarily have deadlines within the month, or maybe they could, however you want to do it. But I like to do a checklist so that as I'm looking at my monthly spread, I have these things to look at. So I have my to-do list, and I don't have a ton of friends, so I have one birthday in August to think about, but I write the date down and my friend's name down, and then in a different color you can go in and check off as you get things done. So now we have our August monthly spread done, and we kind of have the basics done, so we'll go a little bit faster on these next pages. So go ahead and add a new page to your screen size again. We're going to click and drag that orange color in the top, and it's going to automatically fill in that background for us. And now we're going to go in with a new layer, just like we normally do. Go in and grab that artisty, Plimsolly, or whatever it's called. We're going to scribble the top for another heading, and then we're going to go back to our calligraphy pen, select the brush pen, and switch our color back to white. It's just in our history, so I can just click that there. And this is going to be our weekly overview. So I'm going to go ahead and add that title in as well as the week. Now we're going to go back to that maroon shade from our history and add in a new layer. So this is where I can specify what the dates are going to be for this particular week. And the week that I'm in making this video is August 15th to the 21st. So yeah, I know I'm in the second week of August, a little late to be making a big old monthly planner, but we're gonna roll with it anyway. So now by clicking that little squiggly button at the top, it gives you the option to add rectangles in, and it will automatically fill them to the color you have selected. So I went ahead and added a bunch of those, so I have enough for my days of the week. I'm going to take my little scribbly option again, and then I'm going to have those headers. And I know this shade of orange isn't the same as my August spread was, but I will fix that later. So if you have noticed that, kudos to you and your OCD. You are just like me, but I will fix that. Do not worry. Now I'm going to keep in my random theme and give these those scribble outlines again to make it more fun and carefree. Then I'm going to also add this little white box in the top so I can either add weekly goals, shopping lists, things to think about, whatever you want to do. But that kind of lets your weekly overview get a little bit more specific too. So now I'm going to go back in with my calligraphy brush and just add in my days of the week. And you might have to play with your brush size a little bit. That's okay, no need to worry about that. And we've already watched me do a bunch of writing and adding stuff, so we don't need to do that again. But I am going to go in with a monoline now and just add lines so that each day can have a specific thing, making sure that's in a new layer. We're going to click that toolbar again now and go over to the add section, and there's a copy option where you can copy and then paste. You don't have to redraw these lines over and over and over again. Every time you hit paste, it's going to paste back to the spot where the original is, so you'll have to go back and grab that, which I did. And then I just wrote in Saturday since Saturday is a different shape. Now I'm going to go back up to the top. I'm going to play around here. I add some more washi tape sort of vibes, some more outlines, and some headings. Kind of play around with this. I'm going to let this one be weekly goals. So as I'm looking at the week, things that need to be accomplished that week, I can look at those at a glance, as well as a shopping list for the week. I didn't want to put this in my monthly section because that is going to be a long list, and I definitely go shopping more than once a month. So we have a weekly shopping list here that I added and then made little checklists, but when you're all done and done, this is kind of what it looks like. And then I wanted to go in and just add some more little lines. I'm not going to make these the string lights, but just some artistic there. Then we're going to do another page here. This is just an example of what I did for my finances page. I like to have a weekly finance budget. So that same color background, we're going to go in with some scribble for the heading with that artistic section there. The same color scheme I've been using, just carefree scribbles at the top. And then we're going to switch back to our calligraphy brush pen, add a new layer, and then we're going to add the heading finances. You don't need to watch me make the whole thing. You kind of get the gist by now, but when it's all said and done, this is kind of what my finances look like, and I've left it blank for you because you don't need to know my financial situations. And this is where I realized what shade of orangey salmon pink I had actually been using, so this is where your layers come in handy. You go back and select layer 1, drag that color out, and it's going to only affect your layer 1. Definitely always work in your layers. Now, something that I've always loved to include in my bullet journals or planners, whatever you want to call them, is something I like to call line a day. Now, this just gives me a page with very small sections for each day of the week. What this does is it kind of allows me to journal a little bit without being a huge ordeal. I suck at journaling, but each day of the week has such a small section that you can only write a sentence or two. And it's kind of cool to be able to look back on and know that I've had a little bit of journaling done without putting in as much effort as writing pages and pages and pages. So in the past, I've done one thing I'm grateful for every day, or one positive thing that happened that day, or I've done summaries kind of like I'm writing in this one, where it's just a super small summary of that day. But it kind of helps me feel like I've accomplished a bit of journaling and I actually have something to look back on. Something that I definitely recommend putting into any of your daily planners. It also really helps create a more positive mindset, which is something that I really, really love. Okay, now that we have 4 basics here, lots of people prefer GoodNotes over Procreate because it actually gives you links to your planner or whatever, but I'm going to hit the select button, select all 4 of those, and then click the stack button. So this is going to group those 4 pages together, and then I'm going to hit that select option again, click on one of my pages, and click duplicate. So now I have copies of everything I need. And then still in the select option, you can click and drag and reorder everything however you want it to be. So now I don't have to create something each and every time, but I can just duplicate, redo my background colors, and whatever I want to do while ordering it. So I can have my monthly overview at the top, And then you can also click on the title and you can title it whatever you want it to be. So this can just be my August spread, you know, and you can go along and retitle all of these, reorder all of these. You can look at it at a glance, have it in an order that your actual hard copy planner would be, and it's a whole lot easier to go in and edit it later. So now I have all of these. I'm going to go ahead and just title them, like my finances could be my monthly budget, so on and so forth. So now I have all of these titled. And this week doesn't have the correct date, so going into my layers, I'm going to select the layer that has that August week there, and then I can click on my eraser button, and I could erase literally all over the screen, but the only thing that it's going to erase is the August date, because that's all that's included in that layer. So all the rest of your work is already protected. Then I can go back to my main screen and I can title this stack as my August 2021 planner. So when you're looking through stuff, you have all of that right there ready to go. Now here's the next part that's really cool. So I can duplicate one in the app and then click and drag it towards that arrow at the top, and now I have that all by itself in a different section. So if you just wanted one thing to have out there, you can totally do that. But I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to show you an easier way to actually duplicate your entire month later. I do want to show you a couple other things that I like to include in my planner. I do have my grid lines on here because I'm actually going to create different sections for this particular page. This is going to be a page dedicated to monthly goals, and something I strongly encourage is not just to have a list of goals, but to have different sections for those goals specifically. So not just here are my goals, but have a section for like spiritual, mental, physical, and in these goals, don't get too specific, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But my physical goals could be just to work out twice a week. I'm not going to set a specific day, time, or anything like that. This is just my overview. And then eat at least 2 meals a day, which sounds terrible to some of you, but I'm terrible at feeding myself, so I need to be better at that. I even went through and changed them from checkboxes to bullet points because I'm not checking these off. These are my goals, and these are things that I want to kind of focus on for the month. So financial goals, I needed to find a better job this month, which I did, and I need to get my payments caught up finally now that I have a job again. And again, no deadlines being set, just having this as an overview. And something that I knew would really help me mentally is if I could finally get organized. And because I haven't had a planner for a good little bit, and I really have missed that and wanted to get back into that, that is what I have been doing, creating this digital planner. So having more organization and daily planning is actually going to help my mental state. So here is that monthly goals page as an overview. Again, I didn't show you me making it all because you didn't need to watch me create it again. But then I'm going to go ahead and put it where I think it should go in my order of things, and then we're ready to go. Now, to kind of apply those goals, you can create a little habit tracker for yourself. So this I have color coordinated, color coded, however you want to call it. This could be a mood tracker for some people if you wanted it to be, but basically with the color coding, if I checked off that habit that day, then I just scribble a color in my little leaf here, and then I go back and find those colors again. Now if I was on a different day and I only did a couple of those habits, I didn't get all of them, then you'd have like 2 of your colors instead of all 5 of them. I do think it's cool to have 5 new habits to be working on, but do it however you want to do that. And then by the end of the month, you'll have these leaves all filled in. Some people might do more of a grid section for this, and then this could be a mood tracker where you color code 5 different moods for the month, and then your leaves would all be different colors.
You have lots and lots of variability and flexibility with how you want to personalize your planner. I just thought this was cool for a habit tracker and I wanted to try it out for this month. If I wanted to go and change it later, I could erase the graphic and just do a new graphic and do a grid system or something like that, so I could have a check mark for each habit of the day. However you want to do it, it's your planner and your life. Do that however you want to do. So now that I have this all done and done, I don't want to have to keep making a new planner every single month. So I'm going to go to my main screen, select, and I'm going to duplicate that entire stack. So now I have 2 August stacks. I could go in, click on my layer that just has the word August in it, and click my eraser, erase the word August, and then I could put in the month September when it's ready for September. And I could do the same thing for all of the dates. Go in and just erase the dates without affecting any of the other things on this page, and have all of my dates reset for September and ready to go. So I don't have to keep making this from scratch every single time. And then you do the same thing with your birthdays and with your goals and all of that fun stuff. So all of this is super easy. There's not having to redo it from scratch. Once it's set up, you're good to go, and you could change just basic colors at a time, or you could do a whole new one from scratch if you were bored one day. Then you can go in, again, here's your finances, redo those, however you have to do it, and then go in, retitle them. You can edit it week to week, or you can set it up as it's the beginning of the month sort of ordeal. It's however you want to do it. There is so much that you can work with here. And then I'm going to edit this new stack so that we know that this is now my September 2021 planner. So then I have a folder for August and September, and I can create a planner out for however far it needs to go. And there's no subscription fee. I can use all of Procreate tools, and I have this at any time that I might want to do it, with the ability to retitle, update graphics, all of that stuff without having to do it from scratch every single time, being able to keep it all in one place, looking at it as an overview, as all together, being able to create different sections. It is so nice and such an easy way to get organized. It helps me feel more motivated. It's a great way to change your mindset to be more positive and be able to get more accomplished and feel like you're accomplishing more without being a pain in the butt to do digital planning. It's super, super easy, and your amount of options and personalization ability is literally limitless. There's so much that you can do to make this your planner and make your life so much simpler.
And that is it for this video, you guys. If you have more questions or more things you want me to look into, please let me know. Like I said, that was just a starting point. You can do so much more with Procreate and with your digital planning. However you want to do it, I just gave you the starting point and how I do the basics of it. If you do start using digital planners via Procreate or however you do it, be sure you comment hashtag digital planning on this video so that I know that you're following along and starting your life with way more organization and staying on top of things. It helps with motivation and all that fun stuff. Also, be sure you take cute pics of you and your digital planning and upload them to Instagram. Be sure you tag Sydeswept on Instagram and hashtag digital planning. I will be featuring some of these in my story, and I can't wait to see you guys in your progress as we all transform our lives and become way more motivated to do things and help stay on top of things. So I hope this video helps you guys, and thanks so much for hanging out with me. I love y'all with my whole heart, and I will see you in my next video.